Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. Welcome or welcome back to Karen's Knit Picks, my knitting podcast. My name is Karen. If you are new here, I am a kind of novice level knitter. I started knitting in October of 2022 and it's currently December when I'm filming this for reference. And so it's been about 2.5 months since I started knitting, and yeah, I am enjoying myself. And I created this podcast mainly just to have a way to like track my progress and share my progress. I love watching knitting podcasts. I think they are so interesting and so fun. I think I'm just like nosy because I really like knowing what everyone else is working on, but I enjoy them, so I mean I might as well keep watching them. And another thing that I'd like to mention is I am almost at 50 subscribers right now, which is crazy to me because I don't know, I thought, I guess because I'm so new to knitting that maybe people wouldn't want to watch my videos, but I'm glad that some of you do out there. So thank you so much for your support and for coming to my channel, for watching my videos, for commenting and interacting. I really appreciate it, and I just want you to know that it does not go unnoticed. So I actually have a ton of stuff to share. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, I have a ton of stuff to share because Christmas is next week and I have a couple of gift knits that are not finished, and on top of that I was like, yeah, I was frantically gift knitting, and then I also decided this was the right time to cast on new projects for myself. So I don't know, I have a lot of things that I did this past week. So let's just get into it, I guess. Okay, so I realized that actually I have one finished object this month, or this week, this 2 weeks, whatever it is, bi-weekly, whatever it is, whatever. I have a finished object, my Novice Slipover that I'm wearing. How fun. I finished it a couple of days after my last podcast went up, so sometime last week, and I'm so excited about it. I love it. It's super comfy and warm and cozy. I have talked about it like a million times forever in my last 2 episodes, so I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but I really love it. It was super easy to work on. This was the first garment that I cast on ever in my entire knitting career, so this was like very beginner friendly, and I like it. It's definitely something that was not in my wardrobe already. I didn't own any sort of vests prior to making this one, which is why I decided to make this one instead of like the Novice sweater or the Novice cardigan. This felt like a missing piece in my wardrobe, and so far so good. I've worn it a couple of times already. I like to layer it with just like a plain long sleeve t-shirt mainly, or like a regular t-shirt if it's not too cold out, but it's been pretty cold lately. And yeah, I mean, I think it's been great. I really like the mohair. I wasn't sure if I would like mohair, but I do really like it. I think it's very comfortable. It blocked out really nicely. If you recall, in some of my previous videos I had a lot of loose purl stitches at the top where I was working flat, and those have blocked out very nicely. They're not perfect, but I think it's fine for me, and if I wanted to, I could probably block one more time and it would be like just fine. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with this. I would not make it again because I think there are other slipover patterns that have a construction that is a little bit more my style, but I am super happy that I made this, and I'm incredibly proud of it, and I'm just so happy to be able to finally share this with you as a finished object. So moving on to whips, I have a couple, but I think I'm going to start with my gift knits because I've made quite a bit of progress on them and I want to talk about them, obviously. So first up is my Oslo hat. This one is for my dad, and I'm using Hobbie's extra fine merino. It's held double, and I'm using 3.5mm needles, I think. And this is a 32-inch needle, and as I was making it, I realized, I mean, the pattern calls for a 16-inch needle, but I didn't have them. And as I was going through, I was like, if I had a 16-inch needle, this would make my life so much easier. I would go so much faster. So I actually ended up buying 16-inch needles so I could finish these hats because I have a lot of yarn to make more of these hats. So I just figured it would make my life way simpler and faster. So yeah. So right now, so Christmas is next week, right? This is a gift knit. I have like 7 or 8 days now, maybe 9 days to finish this, and I'm about like halfway done on this. I probably have, I don't know, like 15 centimeters left, and then I can do decreases. I really like the construction of this. It's a little bit more complex than like a regular hat because you like fold over the bottom so that it's double lined at the part that goes around your head, which I think is a great idea because it'll keep you like extra warm and you won't have so much air passing through. This, so it's for my dad, whose head size was kind of on the cusp of a medium and a large, which was like 23 something inches. And because this Hobbii yarn, the extra fine merino, is super wash, I know that it's gonna grow when I wash it. So I actually decided to knit the medium in this hat, and I think it's gonna be okay once it grows. It's a little bit tight, like I've tried it on myself where like it fits me comfortably, so it does make me a little bit nervous, but I have faith that it will be fine because number one, like a hat's supposed to be stretchy, and number two, it's super wash, so it's gonna get a little bit bigger, and I'm hoping that that's enough. So we'll see. But overall, like I like this hat because it's super easy, like it's all stockinette, so it's pretty quick, but like it's a lot more knitting than I anticipated, so I feel like my like deadlines are off and I feel like I needed more time. I wish I had started it earlier, but whatever, it's my own fault. I mean, I'm really happy with this, especially because the last podcast I had literally just cast this project on, and so 2 weeks later I'm like halfway done, and as you will see, I was not working on this like monogamously, so I've gotten a lot of other stuff done also, which was, you know, I think this was great progress. And I honestly think that I will finish this like by the end of this weekend. So 2 more days or so, 3 more days, and I think that this one will be all finished. So very, very close to the end. And in addition to that Oslo hat for my dad, I also am making one for my mom, but I only got the yarn in like a couple of days ago. So I just cast this one on like immediately on my 16-inch circular needles, the same size, 3.5mm, and the same yarn also from Hobbii, but I just got a different color. This is the sapphire color and I love it. I ordered the Hobbii Friends wool and the kid silk to make a sweater for myself in January, which is a separate story, but I love this color. It's so stunning in person, and it like, well, it's coming up actually pretty true on the camera, but it's stunning. I love it. I'm so excited. So this is for my mom. It's another Oslo hat, and you know, we're getting there. I figure as soon as I finish the other one for my dad, I can just work on this like consistently, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought based on the way that that one is going. And also I try to do the same thing. I was like, okay, it's superwash, I can probably size down, but my mom was on the cusp of like a small and a medium for her head size, which is like, it was like 21 inches, I think. And when I was doing my long tail cast on, I didn't make my tail long enough, so I kind of ran out of room, or I ran out of yarn to finish my cast on. So I'm making an extra small now and praying that it will grow enough to fit my mom's head. So we will see. Everybody cross your fingers for me, because this is my second time attempting this hat for my mom because I didn't like the yarn I used the first time, and I will feel literally horrible if this doesn't work out. So yeah, so that one needs a little bit of work and a lot of faith. So cross your fingers. My last gift knit is a blanket. It's the Cumberland Blanket by Cadery. And it's going very well, actually. I am genuinely enjoying making this blanket. It is just really beautiful and satisfying as you get through each section. So I love it. I'm so into it. But I have only done a little bit. I mean, I've done a good amount, but I've done not as much on it as like I probably need to. Because again, Christmas is like literally next week, but it's fine. I've got a pretty good amount though. Like, I am pretty satisfied. I think this is like 10 inches worth, and my plan is to make it 60 inches. So like, you know, we're getting there, but we're not there yet. I think it looks so beautiful. Like, I freaking love the print on this, the pattern on this. It's so pretty, and it's coming along. I've talked about this a couple of times in my other podcast, but this is the first time that I'm shooting and I have like actual progress to show, so it looks really nice. I'm so happy with this. This is the Amigo Chunky yarn from Hobbii. It's in the color Dusty Green, and I'm using 15mm needles, and I bought the pattern on Etsy, so I will have it linked in the description. I love it so much that I decided I'm gonna make another blanket in the same pattern for myself in January, but we're not there yet. So yeah, I mean, this one's coming along. I figure since the Oslo hats are gonna be a little bit quicker to make, I'm gonna focus on those, bang those out, and then I can devote all my time and attention to this. But over the next week, I really will have to buckle down and make sure that I get this done, because I would feel really bad if I didn't get it finished. So, and then I would have to mail it, which I'm not privy to. Yeah, so we'll see, but this one is really coming along. I feel like I am just zooming through this, so sorry. So the next one that I cast on, because so balaclavas are getting really popular these days, and I don't want to be left out of the trend. So I'm trying to knit my balaclava as fast as I can, but I need to finish my gifts first, so it's gonna be like, it's gonna take me a second before I can finish this, but we'll get there. And also, somebody, I think on my first podcast episode, said that they were so excited to see my yellow balaclava, so this is for you if you're out there watching. I finally cast it on. I know it's like a tiny little thing, but I am excited about it. I love the pattern. I think it's beautiful. It's like a really beautiful ribbing pattern. I'll show close up so that you can see it a little bit better. And I talked about it in my first podcast episode and then kind of had to put it on hold because I had some other projects, mainly this I was focusing on, and then one of my other cardigans for my, a baby, so the baby cardigan. I haven't done a ton of work on it, but as soon as I finish my gift knits, I'm gonna dedicate a lot of time to this because I want to wear it so soon. This is absolutely, I mean, it's definitely like I want the finished product, but I'm enjoying the process as I go also, so I'm pretty happy with that. And okay. So yarn, this is Sunday by Stannis Garn. It's one of the petite knit colorways. So this one is called Banana. I don't know what the code is, the number code is, color code for the color is. Does that make any sense? Whatever, you know what I mean. I don't have the number color code for it, but it's called Banana and it's Sunday by Stannis Garn, and then it's merino, and a fairly fine merino. It's definitely like a fingering weight. It's pretty small, it's pretty light, and then I'm holding it together with silk mohair from, oops, hold on, my boyfriend's calling. Okay, I'm back. My boyfriend called, so I had to stop filming for a second. Okay, so what was I saying? So my yarn, yeah, Stannis Garn Sunday. This is Knitting for Olive silk mohair in the color Dusty Banana, and it makes a really beautiful light yellow color. It's very pretty. And I did a gauge swatch, and I washed it and blocked it, and it turned out really nice. The fabric was really, really nice and soft and so comfortable. I was so happy with the fabric, so I'm really excited to have a complete balaclava after this. But I think the pattern originally calls for a 4mm needle, but it also calls for a slightly heavier weight yarn. I think the original pattern has like some sort of cashmere yarn that's a little bit heavier, plus held together with the mohair. But she does say that you can use merino held together with the mohair, but you might have to go up a needle size to meet gauge, which I did. So I went up to a 4.5mm needle, and so far so good. I definitely think it's not a huge difference in the fabric, so I think it's fine. I'm not concerned. And so far, I mean, I'm really enjoying this, but it's a lot of purling, which, nobody loves purling, but it is nice. I am enjoying the process, and I'm looking forward to, like, this is like the front flap, so this is the part that'll be here. So yeah, after this you kind of work around, and I'm looking forward to getting there, but I have other priorities right now, so I can't focus on it too much, but hopefully soon. So yeah, oh, and I didn't even mention the pattern. This is Balaclava number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, so I'm excited. I can't wait to make it. I think it's going to be beautiful. And that's not all. I have a couple more projects. Next up on my list of whips is my sweater number 23 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I just cast it on like a week ago when I was tired of knitting my gifts. I was like, I need a break from gifts, so I'm gonna cast this on. So I cast it on. This is my back. This is like the neck and then the shoulder detail, which is really beautiful, the way the increases are to make this like kind of shoulder stripe detail, which I will show closer up so you can see it better. And so far so good. I was a little nervous about knitting flat because like with my vest, my purl stitches were pretty loose, so it was tough to, yeah, I was worried that they would look really uneven, and it's definitely better than this one was, but I could definitely see that it's still a little bit uneven, but I think it just takes practice. And I also learned a different purling method. Instead of like a regular purling method, I am doing Norwegian purling with this, and I think it's made a big difference for my gauge, my tension. So my purl stitches are a lot firmer on this than they were when I was doing my slipover. Plus just practice, and like the fact that I have quite a few finished objects under my belt at this point. Not quite a few, like 4 or 5 maybe, which, you know, it makes a difference, definitely practicing. What else about this one? So my yarn choice, did I say that this is sweater number 23? I don't remember, but this is sweater number 23, My Favorite Things Knitwear. For yarn, I'm using La Mana Como, which is a heavy merino, and La Mana Premia, which is silk mohair in the color kiwi. I saw someone on Instagram make this sweater for her test knit in this color, and I was like, that's it, I have to buy this. Immediately, literally immediately, I scoured the earth to find this yarn, which is it's a story for another time. I talked about it in my first podcast episode, so if you want to hear the story, you can go and take a look at that one. And I really like the fabric that they make together. I think these are one of the recommended yarns for the pattern, so it was very convenient to know that I don't have to do any math with these. And I really like the fabric. I did a gauge swatch, I washed and blocked it, and it's really beautiful. It's very flexible and flowy. It feels very nice, so I'm excited to wear it, but it's still like thick, and it's gonna feel really nice as a sweater, so I can't wait to keep working on this. I freaking love it. So I am at the point where I did all of my shoulder increases, and I'm gonna start working the rest of the back straight down, I believe, until I get to the underarm, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember because I haven't looked at the pattern in a week, but I think it looks really great so far. I'm so excited, and I love the yarn. I would absolutely buy this yarn again. This combination is really nice, so yeah. And I'm using a 5mm needle, I believe, which, okay, I don't know where it is, but I think it's 5mm, and it's comfortable. I'm at gauge, so I'm excited. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this since I basically started knitting, so I'm happy to finally be working on it. And last but not least, my final whip of the month, of the year, probably, I guess, is my very first sock. I'm so excited. So I am using the Silly Socks Flower Pop Super Washable from Hobbii. Let's see, I never actually look at this to look at the label. So it is the weight is #1, super fine, which I think is like a fingering weight. It's 100 grams, 400 meters, 437 yards, which is exactly the amount that the pattern calls for. I'm doing the vanilla socks from the Crazy Sock Lady, just to like do my first sock. This is my first sock ever, so I wanted to do a very simple pattern. And I picked the color Peony for the color changing yarn. And it's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, so it should be it's a little bit scratchy, definitely, because of the wool content, but it should be kind of like a long-lasting sock fabric, so that's what I'm hoping for. And I've only done a little bit. I'm still on the ribbing, but I have maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 more rounds before I start working stockinette for the leg. and so far so good. I'm using 9-inch circular needles in size 2.25, and I originally was going to make socks on DPNs, but I don't know, I decided not to. I guess it didn't feel like the right choice for me because I think I would end up with a lot of laddering issues at the points where the double pointed needles meet, so I decided not to do that for the whole sock, but I do think I will use them for the heel flap instead of using a different method. So we'll see when I get there. Obviously, I have quite a bit to go. So far, I am really enjoying sock knitting. It takes a little while to get used to the really small circumference, but once you get there, it's very comfortable. And because of the small circumference, I am actually doing what you're not supposed to do and doing kind of a combination knitting where I'm purling and picking the yarn up through the front, but it's making the process a little bit faster and cleaner for me. So that's what I'm doing. And it's fine. I don't care. This is my first pair of socks and I'm making them for me, so they don't need to be perfect. And that's it so far. So those are all of my whips. I do have a little bit of acquisitions because I had to purchase a few things like this sock yarn over like Black Friday, I think. So let's get into those. So I got quite a few things from Hobbii. Yay. And we'll just get into it. I've shared a couple of them already, actually, because couldn't wait to cast them on. So my mom's Oslo hat in the sapphire blue color, that was an order from Hobbii. And then my sock yarn was also from Hobbii. So that's what I got. And I got a couple of other things actually also. So I got another sock yarn. I really desperately wanted red socks and I figured I will just make them myself. Why not? So this is the rainbow 4-ply sock wool from Hobbii. 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It's a fingering weight wool and it's a 50-gram ball. 210 meters, 229 yards. And my plan for this is just to do the vanilla sock pattern again, but in this yarn instead of the self-striping yarn. I started with the self-striping yarn just because I thought it would make the process feel a little bit more fun for my first one, but I do this was my whole reason for wanting to knit socks in the first place. So this is what I will do next. I do have I have quite a few sets of 9-inch circular needles because I ordered them from a vendor on Amazon, which I know is not what you're supposed to do. We're sustainable and small business, I get it, but this was out of convenience. And the seller sent me the wrong size of needle the first time, and then they sent me the wrong one again, so I ended up with a bunch of stock needles in actually different sizes, which was very convenient. So yeah, so I'm going to be making a lot of socks in the future. Definitely the vanilla socks I think will be very simple for me. I already have decided that I want to buy the patterns for the Ozetta. She has a pack of all her different sock patterns, so I want to buy that. And then I would also like to buy, I saw a pair of socks from the Petite Knitter, and I don't remember what it's called because I just saw it last night, but they have sheep on them, and I'm obsessed with all things that have sheep on them. If you can knit things with the sheep on it, that is the best thing in the whole world. I have already decided that I'm gonna make the Princess Diana sheep sweater, the black sheep sweater. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. So anyway, I'm gonna make socks out of these things. That's what the deal is. So in addition to that, I also said last podcast that I wanted to make myself a knit headband, because when I go to the gym in the morning, I have my hair in a bun and it's not very simple for me to just throw a hat on, so I wanted to have a headband instead. So I got in the Friends wool from Hobbii. So this is 100% wool. It is number 4, which I think is like a worsted weight. I don't know. I'm still learning the weight charts for yarn, so I don't remember. And then it's 50 gram ball, 100 meters, and 109 yards. And I think the color is called Cappuccino. And originally I was gonna just use a sock, no, not a sock pattern, a hat pattern that had like similar weight, but to make the headband, but I ended up seeing that Spectacle Strick made a crew headband pattern very conveniently, so I bought that right away. And it calls for a slightly different gauge than this yarn, but it does have mohair held with it, so I'm thinking if I just combine this with some of the mohair that's left over from my vest, I should be okay. I'm hoping, but if not, I will do some math, whatever. So that's my plan, but again, like, I want to do this right away because I know I can start using it, but those gift knits have got to get done. So as soon as I finish my gift knits, I will cast this on. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this, at least. So I got a couple other things. Well, I got more of the extra fine merino from Hobbii because let me find it for a second, hold on. So I got more because I wanted to make more Oslo hats, yay! So I really like the yarn that I'm using for my dad's Oslo hat, which is why I decided to buy it again to do my mom's hat. And then I was like, originally I was only gonna buy the yarn for my mom's hat, but I was like, I'm not ordering yarn from Denmark to only order like 4 balls of yarn, you know what I mean? So I got more, obviously, which is why I ended up getting sock yarn and the yarn for my headband, but I digress. So I got this emerald color in the extra fine merino to make a hat for my boyfriend. I'm gonna make him the same Oslo hat because I like the construction, I like the way it looks, and I think it's a pretty simple hat to make once you like get through the whole pattern, so I think it's gonna be fine. And then I got this red color for myself because I've always wanted a red hat. As you can see, I'm going through a phase where I want all the red things, so I'm gonna have matching hat and matching socks. That is actually the end of my haul. I've gotten a couple of like tools, but nothing noteworthy aside from the 9-inch circular needles. So I think that's actually it. Okay, I keep getting a lot of calls today. I'm very popular. Just kidding, it was the pharmacy. Anyway, I am done now, actually. I have a couple other things coming. I know I bought more yarn. I really should probably not do that, but I have a couple more things for some sweaters or some cardigans for myself, and then I bought more yarn to finish the blanket because I actually think I might run out of yarn before I finish, so I'm hoping it comes in time for Christmas. I ordered it maybe like a week ago, or at least earlier this week, so we'll cross our fingers again. Hopefully it comes in time. So I don't really have anything else to share today, and I asked for some yarn for Christmas, and I also asked for a Swift and a yarn winder, so let's cross our fingers that I get that also. Yeah, and I guess that's pretty much it. So I think next couple of podcasts, I guess it'll be January by then, wouldn't they? So probably gonna share everything that I made in 2022. I also want to share some of my knitting plans for next year. I made a spreadsheet and everything, so I'm very prepared. And then also last week I asked you to share some of your podcast recommendations, and I figured I would share some of the podcasters that I am really enjoying this past week. So the first is Queen's Yarn Boutique. I've watched quite a few of her videos now. Okay, not quite a few. I've watched maybe 2 or 3 of them, her most recent videos, and I really like them. She has such a sweet personality. She's so cute, so I love her videos. And so yeah, I've been watching her, so I will link her channel in the description. I hope you can go check her out. I also have been watching Knits. She is really sweet. She is definitely way more experienced of a knitter, but I think she is really knowledgeable also. She knows a lot about yarn and the tools and all the different knitting techniques, so she is really great to watch, and she's just very pleasant on camera. She seems like she has a great personality. I've just been really enjoying their videos. So, and I have subscribed to like so many podcasters this past week. So if there's any more that you want to share with me, I'm happy to check them out. Leave them in the description. You can let me know what you're working on or anything that you've cast on recently. I think that would be fun. You know, I'm a nosy gal. I love to be in people's business about what they're knitting. Only about what they're knitting though. I'm trying not to be nosy in my real life. Anyway, I am rambling. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you for watching my podcast again, tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around for my almost 50 subscribers. It's very exciting. And I will chat with you next time. Thank you. Bye.